Welcome to the Biktrix workshop. Today we will go through the regreasing process for the Rugged Ride M02 mid-drive motor. You'll need the following tools: a Phillips screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, some tire levers or something to pry the motor case open with, a Torx T20, isopropyl alcohol, a mallet, and some of our specified grease. To start, you will need to remove these 3 screws from this side of the motor, and there will be 3 other screws on the other side of the motor to remove. You will need to use the Torx head screwdriver for this. Now we need to remove the 3 screws from the other side of the motor with the Torx head screwdriver. When you're taking apart the motor, it's best to take some photographs of every step showing what you've removed and where you removed it from. This will greatly aid during the reassembly process. Using this notch on the top of the motor, we can start to pry the casing apart. Take time and do this slowly and gradually with your flathead screwdriver and the tire lever. Have patience and take your time, it will come apart. With things loose, you can separate the 2 sides from the motor. You can see the internal gears here and the inner ring. And we need to remove this inner plate as well using the Phillips screwdriver. Remove all of the following screws. Gently pry it apart using your flathead and the tire levers. Be patient and take your time, it will come apart. Now we can see the other gears of the motor. They should still spin freely once you have the motor apart. There is this smaller gear still within the motor that can't be removed. Now we can start cleaning using some shop towel. You may need to use a screwdriver along with the shop towel to further clean the small crevices. Once you remove the surface layers of grease, use some isopropyl alcohol to further get things clean. Using the rubber mallet, you can pop out the large main gear from the one side of the motor. With that removed, you can further clean that plate. Again, use isopropyl alcohol and a shop towel to remove the residual grease inside of it. Use a brush to further get inside of the teeth of the gears to continue cleaning. We also have a foaming degreaser available that you can use to really get these components clean and shining. Continue scrubbing with your brush, cleaning with paper towel, and slowly and surely you can get this motor sparkling clean. Once you're done cleaning, use some compressed air or an air compressor to make sure everything is fully dry before you reassemble. Use compressed air to fully dry everything before starting to apply grease once everything is clean. Make sure everything is nice and clean, nice and dry before we continue to regreasing. First, apply grease to the little inner gear inside the motor, as shown here. you will need a small paintbrush to apply it the best. When applying grease, make sure you don't get any on these wires or the wiring cavity on the inside of the motor. Keep that grease free to ensure optimal motor performance and operation. A little bit of grease can go a long way inside of this motor cavity. Apply some grease in these two holes where the bearings will be, and to the teeth of these gears. Make sure all of the teeth of these gears have a nice thin layer of grease among them. Now we can reinstall this plate. You may need to tap it in place a little bit with the screwdriver. And the main gear, repeat the process of making sure you apply grease inside of all of the teeth and the inner rings as well, as shown here. Reinstall that main gear into the motor plate by just gently pressing it in, and once it's in place, give it a few gentle taps with the mallet to firmly seat it. This may take a while, be patient, it will come. Now let's reinstall these screws into the motor gear cover on the internal of the motor. Ensure this power connector is reseated more internally to the motor before we put everything fully back together. And now we can join the two halves of the motor up once again. Take your time and be careful to make sure everything is lined up. Use a rubber mallet to slightly tap things together. Check that the pedal spindle turns on each side before moving any further. If it spins on both sides, you have regreased your motor. One final touch we recommend is to spray down the motor with some isopropyl alcohol or degreaser to make sure it's nice and shining before you reinstall it onto your bike. Thank you for watching. Hope this helps for your motor regreasing. Let us know in the comments if you would like some more videos like this or just what you'd like to see in the next Biktrix workshop video.